So we should be live. Let's check YouTube. Let's check. If you can check Facebook,
Let me check Facebook.
and you should also be able to hear your own voice. That was one of the things I've been trying to figure out. Is like, how do I capture sound coming out of a computer, right? And then I figured out what yesterday.
Where are you streaming? You're streaming at the community, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I see it.
I hear myself.
No.
Okay, let's just make sure.
You can check Facebook. And you should also be able to hear your own voice.
Yeah.
That's one of the things
Hold on, do you hear yourself?
that capture.
I got it. I can hear myself.
So your voice is being captured.
Yeah, I can hear. I can.
Perfect.
Give me a second. Yeah, I do hear myself too.
Good. Yeah, and then actually, I want to test something there. So,
Malaysia's computer. That's so weird.
where? Hold on, guys. Refresh. So I just want to make sure if you were to actually leave a message in a comment there, if it will actually show up on the chat window.
Chat?
Yeah. Can you try leaving a comment? Because trying to do too many things, I think my computer is struggling.
I know, this is the issue. Yeah, hey Marshall, hello. I'm hearing. Marshall, can you hear us?
Dana, are you still there, or did I just freeze?
You just freeze, I'm still here.
Okay. I'm just trying to close all my browsers.
Yeah.
Chrome can really eat up a lot of bandwidth.
I know. Like been playing around with this, this hard and in case you guys are wondering, this is Zeus Coffee, which is actually this is the local brand actually. They are doing a promo, so they're having I think 4 cups for like a bundle of 4 Americano for 20 ringgit over at Grab. Yeah, so
So Marsha can hear us, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Marshall, okay, background other stuff. Okay, thanks. Hi Stefan. Hi Sijin.
Okay. And then. Did you try leaving a message on the Facebook comment?
I did. Yeah, I said hi.
Does the hold on? You don't have the video on, right?
I have the video on. It's a bit frozen. I mean.
No.
Marshall says screen is not loading at his end.
Screen is not loading.
Yep.
Oh, I think it's just definitely me trying to do too many things.
Yeah, it happens.
Sorry guys, give me 5 minutes. I think I got the answer to this. I just want to make sure.
Let me illuminate myself a bit. Give me a second. Right. Hello, hello. You should say I'm a social engineer.
I don't think we can change it now.
It's alright, it's alright.
What happened? Where did my... Ah, man. So I use this essentially a password thing, and all my passwords are all different, and it's automatically generated through this program. So if I ever need to log into anything, I always need to open up that site. I think I went too far with like the, protecting myself to the point where I'm literally just like relying on one software.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's generally the problem.
Okay. Can someone try typing in the Facebook chat? I should be able to see it. If not, then its integration with Facebook is not working. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
Well, you want to do a last minute Hail Mary, but I can help you.
No, it's fine. I think we'll just go with what we got here. All right. So am I still frozen or?
I can see you, but let me go to the link, and I can see me looking sleepy. Hi, Suen. Hi, Wicked. No swimming.
No? You're
No.
frozen?
I am frozen. I can see you in the tiny corner. Of,
Yeah. How do I?
I can see Restream. Hi, guys.
Yeah. So that was initially what the idea was. It's like literally, people would be able to like just leave comments in the Facebook group, and it should automatically populate. So then, we can actually have a conversation like that. But it does not seem like it's gonna work today. Oh well, we got like another 12 days to try this.
No worries. Yeah, it's a bit problematic. So I know. I totally understand the situation. That's why, Matt and I've been trying to do stuff that are much more seamless and things like that. So
Yeah.
say hi to Yuki.
Actually, let me try reloading.
Hi. Am I the only one there?
I came back in. Whoa, how? So your picture's not there, but man, how long ago was this picture of yours?
Which picture?
Your profile picture, I guess?
It's a profile picture? Where? Let me look for it. It should be. I do not know. I suddenly changed profile picture.
Yeah, I don't know, cause it's showing you as if you don't have your webcam on.
Okay. Let me. I'll tell you what. Let me disconnect and connect back.
Okay.
No. Okay. How do I?
So while he does that, I'm actually gonna try putting outgoing at 360 because that's just really him seeing it, and then 720 of him coming in, which should mean that you guys should also get a 720 view, assuming it works. Yeah, so, yeah, I was really hoping this would work on Facebook. Um, Let me actually check my phone.
Hello.
There we go.
All right.
Okay, so we'll just leave all the tinkering to that for today. Nice.
This is Yuki.
Lukey,
Yeah.
new edition.
Yuki is a seal in the Osaka Aquarium actually. There's a real seal that looks like this, but not this size. This is not proportion.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, like. I guess there's no real like topics for today. So I guess no. Actually, let's start from the beginning. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us and for taking some time off your lunch or having us as your entertainment during your lunch. So the goal for me and for those who don't know me, CS, and I run the platform More Money Malaysia or moremoney.my. The purpose of that site is really to help Malaysians get actionable insights into their finances. So we try vetting people and information, and we promote those people who we have already vetted and we know it could be of value to you. And joining me here is Daniel. Daniel, how did you want to describe yourself again?
Yeah, so I'm a balding guy wearing many hats. Long story short, I run several communities. I help to grow several communities. More notably, currently is the entrepreneurs and startup group. We grew it from 8,000 in December 2018 to now closing to 24,000. So that's been quite fun. The other thing that I know that some of you guys is actually to the personal finance group. So the personal finance group is something quite interesting because it started off as not really a side project, but because my company we were involved in two different projects that with the government that was involved. Government and SC essentially. To involved in financial literacy. One is with BNM, another one is with together with working with FBAM to help them to develop something for Security Commission for Financial Literacy. And Suraya, credit to Suraya from Ringgit who said that, hey, we should have a group, and we started that group. It's been fun. I don't consider myself a financial expert, but throughout the whole experience running that group, that's been so amazing. I've learned so much. And also know that like meeting a lot of interesting people like yourself and Marshall and Special and Soraya, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of people in the financial literacy space that is doing amazing work basically. So we are glad that is a conduit for people to have discussion and to discuss ideas about personal finance.
Yeah, and I think that kind of echoes back to the purpose of doing these videos or these live streams the next 2 weeks, right? It's because since everyone's kind of stuck at home, how do we best leverage that time? And I just wanted to pick the brains of some of the people who I look up to in this space in Malaysia and see what they're doing and if they have any suggestions that we can piggyback off of. That said, it's really hard for us to actually look at the comments right now and at the same time respond to you guys and take on any questions and all that. So for those who are who aren't tied to watching on Facebook. If there's a link in the description, it should go to moremoney.my/live. You should be able to, if you go there, you can watch this whole thing live. We have a Slido there as well for you guys to be able to put in your questions so that we can answer it. And if there's also a little comment widget at the bottom there. And I do believe that comment widget will actually connect to my backend here so we can actually see that. Actually, I wonder, no, there is no way to just share part of a screen. Oh no. Okay, so Daniel, your thing froze again.
No, I can actually see myself sort of moving. But can you hear me?
No, I think the problem is, learning this from yesterday, streaming takes about 4 megabytes of outgoing uploading data,
Okay.
and I don't know how much data is required to send you over or with the video as well. So that might be where we're like slowly like limiting or maxing out on my end technically.
Well, we can turn off.
No. No, because so what I've done is I've actually lowered our quality here, or what I'm taking in as quality. So it's a lot smoother on my end, but the video might not be looks as good like on the actual video itself.
Okay. I have set up a watch party on my side.
Okay.
Seems like it's still going on. I can see I can see what's happening. So yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So why don't we talk about the current situation and not actually like what's happening, but more along the lines of what are you doing right now to like, since you really can't go out and talk to people the way you used to.
Sorry, I just broke my phone. Okay, so in short, do not know. I've been busier than ever. I'm technically on a sabbatical. I've been at least for the past 9 months or so. I've been traveling in and around. So did a couple of trips. My last trip was actually to Japan, and we did a ramen trip. So we actually went to the Kansai region to explore the top ramens in over there.
Holy shit! That sounds.
Yeah, and as everything is going on and etc., there was actually going to be a lot more trips. I'm one of those guys that actually bought the AirAsia Unlimited.
Oh, I was just gonna ask you, did you buy it? So you didn't buy it?
Of course, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, so one of the projects that's happening is my friend Samantha Lee. So she is a food artist, and she started off a housewife, and her daughter then was actually a very picky eater. So she decided to make this cute little food art to let her eat, and then she posted on Instagram, and she became very popular. I think at this point in time, her follower count is about 600,000 followers.
Oh wow!
Over Instagram.
Yeah.
It's like she's like her artwork being recognized globally and etc. And she brought this idea up, like, hey, you should like Malaysians do not know about their chef and like what other chefs and stuff like that. So just before everything went on partial lockdown, we were supposed to do this Kickstarter, this crowdfunding campaign under Publishizer to publish a book on profiling some of the top chefs in Malaysia and Singapore. And that's still going on.
Yeah.
But of course, with a lot of the other stuff, the focus have also shifted a bit. So currently, there are a couple of initiatives that we are working on. So on the entrepreneur group, I'm trying to make sure that there's actually a bunch of live stream. So we have secure Porter Arisman, who is I do not know how to describe him, but I think he was the head of communication at Alibaba very early on. And that was the. So we are having him tomorrow. We're having on the TEDx side, we're working with a bunch of folks from TEDx Jakarta and TEDx Singapore to organize some social movement to spread kindness, to spread love around, spread information around the world. So yeah, there's so many things happening on on my side, which I do not know where to start. So the good thing is yesterday was like just end up taking a very long nap, essentially. But it was good for a change as I was monitoring the news. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That I don't know how you stay up like juggling so many balls. Like if I were to do that, like I would totally let so many of them fall. Like are there any ways or tips or tricks that you've used in the past and to really help yourself get through this or
Honestly, no. I think the part that you because I'm like kind of in the self isolation mode, so uh, that helps. Yeah. So my general to what I generally try to do that works for me in the past is basically scheduling stuff over on a calendar. So if it's in my calendar, I will not miss it, and that's how I allocate time like time blocking over that.
yeah
But with this amount of not infinite time, but like ample time that you're not being distracted by your coworkers or etc. So yeah, you are a bit more focused. You're a bit more. You have a bit more clarity in terms of what you want to do and etc. But I feel like there still need to be a lot of elimination from my plate that needs to be going on because there was another two different groups that we were supposed to start, and I'm gonna delay that after everything has settled down. But
yeah yeah actually you mentioned a good point there in the sense of I don't remember what the exact phrasing was, but you were saying that being stuck at home, it's just that much easier for you to get things done, in a sense, right?
yeah, in the sense that you get a bit of a flow going on that because a lot of our brain capacity actually switches from uh, task A to task B to task A,
Yeah,
task C, task
yeah,
yeah, and that takes up a lot of things. But if you are chunking it, so I'm a big believer of the Pomodoro method.
yeah,
If you're not familiar, it's essentially trying to rush as much work as possible without distraction within 25 minutes. Take a break for 5 minutes and then you do that. So it's named after the Pomodoro. Pomodoro is tomato in Italian. So basically that.
yeah. Um, that was actually my question to you, or the follow up question is like, what are some of those strategies that you use to stay organized or stay efficient, right? Because for some people here, working from home is a completely different or a completely new thing, right? And it's really easy. Like I've gotten a few different requests of like, oh, let's go play like tabletop games on Steam, or let's just watch like blitz through like a Netflix series or something. Um, yeah, right. Like this.
No, those are good. Those are really really good, and you need to because we are social creatures, so we still need the social interaction with others. But at the same time, it's again you are at work and you work from this time to this time. So these are the time that you block out that you don't. If you have that time blocked out that I'm going to complete this task at this time, and from 1 to 2, for example, and
Yeah,
we allocated time for that. So you don't all of a sudden find something like, oh, you know what? Let's call my friend randomly just because of that. So you allocate time for whatever you want to do, and that helps you to stay organized. So you need your break, and definitely that's the thing, and you need human connection to keep up with the sanity of like there are so many friends of mine, I'm sure with yours, that that's like yearning to meet up. So you want to fight that urge. Yeah.
yeah, Yeah. I guess another thing that you or I don't know if you still do it, but I would love you to like kind of speak to it, right? Like, it was the Type A group or the Type A, um,
Breakfast.
yeah, Type A breakfast. Like, can you tell for those who haven't heard about it? Can you explain what that is and how do you use it personally?
Okay, so I haven't been doing it because of this. We were being responsible. We were trying to limit social connection,
Yeah.
basically social distancing. But this is something we can do it virtually. I think probably we should start doing it virtually tomorrow again.
Well, yeah,
So
you mentioned that you kind of do it regardless of the event or not, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
so essentially, just I generally wake up very early normally, except for the past 2 days. I think mental exhaustion is a real thing, juggling from information, digesting information, and this. But what you do is you start from very early on, from 7:30 to 9:30, 2 hours, no distraction, just focus, pure focus on work. The reason why you want to do it in the morning is because hey, that's the least distraction in normal working hours. That's the least distraction. Most people will not be up, so you get stuff done, and then throughout the rest of the day you'll be more relaxed because there's always tasks that is always in the backlog. Like say for example, replying emails or doing accounts or all those stuff that you don't have to do. Find the hardest thing to do and do it early in the morning, and like by right we are supposed to try to get the original concept is to try to get a week's worth of work done within a day, or a day's worth within 2 hours. So try to do that. It relies on a few principles. It relies on the principle of focus and flow. So you are just focusing on one task, getting that task done, and until you are complete within 2 hours. No other distraction. You're not supposed to talk to anyone. Number two, because you are seeing other people doing the same thing, there's this whole peer pressure that goes on. And then third thing is basically oh sorry, there's Pareto principle, because it's the 80-20 rule. It's essentially when you're looking at 20% of the task will help 80% of your tasks be easier. So you want to find those tasks that are the hardest, that will like give a domino effect towards the rest of your tasks. And lastly is basically like what I will add is Parkinson rule. Parkinson rule is the time allocated for a task in general. I'm sure there are tasks that requires, but in general, the time allocated for a task is the amount of time needed for a task. So I'll give you an example. How when you have when were you a student, actually?
I graduated almost 5 years ago.
Okay, not too long.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to complete how long were you supposed to be allocated to complete the assignment? Usually a semester, correct?
Yeah, no, we were definitely like given, like, we were pretty much told at the beginning of the semester, like, FYI, these are the major assessments that are gonna come in. Like, you kind of do it on the side, on top of whatever other studies that you might have, right?
Yes, correct. And how long do you usually take to complete the assignment?
I don't look at it until like a week before.
Yeah. So again, the allocated time is how much time it takes to occupy. So the task will balloon towards the time you allocated. So try to practice time constraint. So the more you can constrain the time for you to complete the task, the more efficient you be about it.
Yeah.
So that is not correct though. Yeah, that's Parkinson's law.
Yeah, and I think that, for a lot of people who might have decided to, like, or thought about doing a side hustle and they're like, oh, I don't have the time for it and all that, I think if they just took everything you just said, and, spent like an hour to 2 hours before going to work each day, they can make a lot of progress in doing some
Yeah.
sort of side hustle, right?
Yeah, and that's what I truly believe, and that's I'm not an embodiment of that sadly yet, because I've been on a break. But yeah, that's what I've been trying to test out myself to actually build a side hustle within like 1 2 hours of my day of the week.
Is there a
So
specific side hustle you're going after, you're exploring?
yeah, there's a couple of side hustles that I'm exploring.
Yeah.
But again, the one of the key principles to look at is there's so much uncertainty in the world, in terms of income. Like I work with so many entrepreneurs that have laid off, like recently just lay off people because of this whole lockdown. They are
Yeah.
in the, yeah, and that will happen to anyone, including your own business. So it's really crucial at this point in time to try to figure out how do you actually generate multiple source of income and stuff that you end up enjoying. A good resources to check through is Side Hustle School by Chris Gillibo. He profiles a lot of side hustles that happen around, but the we are trying to profile the people are doing side hustles over in Malaysia.
Yeah, nice. So, how about from like an investment perspective? Have you done anything in the last few weeks?
I am there's this group of people who are living the FIRE lifestyle, like financial freedom at an early age, make a lot of money, and then you just retire
Yeah.
and you spend a bit and stuff like that. I am a fire and forget person.
What does that
Yeah,
mean? How would you describe that?
yeah, because I get over analytical with information and stuff like that, so I'm not the best person to talk to when it comes to trading and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I will look for vehicles that are a bit of a long term and stuff that I don't have to think. So, like that's why I'm quite heavily tech focused in terms of because there's this guy in the entrepreneur sorry the personal finance group YC mentioned it before, and I didn't realize that is something that I like to do. It's like I invest in stuff that generally I have an interest in, B, I'm a consumer, and C, I do understand.
Yeah.
So that's why I ended up investing in a lot of tech stuff because I realized that, oh crap, I'm actually paying Apple a lot. Oh crap, I'm actually paying Google a lot. Oh shit, I'm paying Facebook a lot. Like sure, nice stuff. Yeah, there's always a long-term view of it. So I don't care about market movement or what. It's not that I do not check the stocks. Very rarely I try to not do it, essentially.
Yeah.
But my perspective has also changed quite a fair bit in the past couple of months, actually, like last year onwards. So there's this guy, his name is Lei. He runs Dividend Magic over in Malaysia, and I haven't looked at dividend-based stock, and there's always two rules about it. Like index fund investing is one of the things that you should actually try to look at because the you're betting against the S&P 500. Over time, it's generally going to be okay.
Yeah.
Okay? I think Warren Buffett had a bet over it, and but most of the stocks there generally don't like you look for stocks that do not pay dividends, so you get capital gain over time. But you look at dividend, if you have enough, sometimes dividend stock does make sense because that generates some sort of passive, to put in perspective, that is probably the most passive income that you can get. Like
Yeah.
just dividends. Uncertain, but passive.
Yeah, no, I like a lot of what you were just talking about. It kind of like was exactly the topic of what I talked about yesterday for my company, right? The whole idea of like, what exactly is a stock, the stock price versus like the actual underlying value of a company, right? And trying to stay with things that you do understand,
Yeah.
and talking more about like index, right? And when you mentioned S&P 500, for those who might not actually know what that is, how would you describe it?
So it's technically supposed to be the top 500 stocks in the New York stock market. but actually it's not. I can't remember. There's there is actually how do I put it this way? There's actually so it's supposed to be New York stock market, Nasdaq. Let me just get the proper definition. I think that will, yeah. But it's actually a combination of sample stocks all around. So it's not like literally the top 500 stocks. It's just a bunch of stocks.
Really? Are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain about that. Like I was really shocked about that when I found out about it.
I would. Yeah, like I've always understood S&P as the 500 biggest companies in the
No,
U.S. That's
so
publicly traded.
no, so there are 500 large companies on the stock exchange in US, but they might not be the most largest 500. And they are large generally, but yeah, they're not the large as 500. Yeah, I'll just I'm looking at the list now. The Alphabet is there. I'm sure Apple is there. Yeah, but yeah, there are some stocks that are not. Like
Interesting.
yeah, because if I guess when they design it is I remember listening this from Planet Money and it was like, really? It's like, oh shit. But it does make sense. It does make sense. Hear me out.
Okay.
How so you know when Amazon like okay, let's use Tesla for example. Okay. Let's look at Tesla. So Tesla was at the lowest. When was that? Oh, Tesla dropped a lot. Not too bad. Okay, let's look at Tesla within.
And for those listening, that was not a professional recommendation of any sort.
Not a professional recommendation. This is just my own personal speculation, etc.
This is just like entertainment for you guys, really.
Okay, so Tesla has been hovering around the 200 range for the longest time, right?
Yeah.
And there was actually I think like close to about a year ago there was like sentiment of it not doing well, it's doing badly and etc.
Mm-hmm.
And people are losing confidence, investors are losing confidence over it. Then all of a sudden it shot up to close to 1,000. Is it 1,000? Like
968.99.
968.99. So lowest was 176 in a 52-week, like 176.
Yeah.
Right? So imagine how imagine the market valuation, it just like shot up for 100 billion. That's like not 100 billion. Market cap would be
Free float's
yeah, probably
146.
about 40 billion in market capitalization in terms of that range. So how do you measure? Like every time you will end up recalibrating a different share to be the S&P 500.
No, that's fair. I guess it's. So is it like almost like a trailing 12-month average, or is it like? Because I don't think it's just someone deciding you belong in this, you don't, right?
Yes, it is actually. So let me read from Wikipedia. I will find the Planet Money thing that's been about.
Okay, yeah.
So
And if any of you guys know who are online, like feel free to let us know as well.
yeah, no. Again, like S&P 500 market is a stock market index maintained by S&P Dow Jones Indices, comprises of 505 common stocks issued by 500 large cap companies traded in. So it's large cap company. It doesn't mean that it's the largest company.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, which includes 30% company that is comprises of Dow Jones Industrial Average, and covers 80% of American equity market by capitalization. So you're still not you're talking about a big chunk of them. They are fairly large company, but they might not be at that point of time the largest 500 company.
Interesting.
It's because I do remember there was a period of time like some of the tech stocks are not even the S&P 500.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what I. Anyway.
I mean, I could be totally wrong. Don't take this as a because that I remember reading it as a flaw of the S&P 500. That there was so much thing that was not covered back then. Of course, there is they probably recalibrated it again, and if you're limiting your yeah, so there's an article by investor.com. If you're limiting, this is dated uh, 7th February, sorry, US one, I can't remember. If you limit yourself to S&P 500, Tesla isn't the top stock, and you miss, there are plenty other under there are plenty other under the index winner. So there are a lot of stuff that are actually not part of the S&P 500. Yeah, so I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
again, do not take this as professional. I'm not a professional. I do not know. I do not trade. I just merely buy and keep. I'm a stock hoarder.
But I think that's what most people should be doing, right? I
Yeah,
think the
that-
people who are buying and selling, unless you're doing it professionally, which we do have a few in the Facebook group that do that, right? And I might be able to get a few of them on in the future. But doing that requires a very different type of skill, right?
Yes.
That you need to spend a lot of time honing in on. And for most people who are just, who have a day job and everything, like, that's not what you should be doing with your time, right? And what you should be doing is really buying and holding, whether it is that you buy stocks or you buy, you go directly into buying the ETFs that track some of these different index funds, or you buy, use a robo-advisor or something, right?
Yeah.
That to me is like what I think most people should be doing. And within that subset, I think most people should really be using a robo-advisor. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that is actually very sound advice. Okay, give you sorry, just to jump back.
Yep.
I look back at one of the last possible smaller stock is Capri Holding Limited ordinary shares. Current price is actually trading at 774. Their market capitalization is 1.6 billion.
Okay.
And Tesla is at market capitalization 66 billion. So definitely it's not the largest.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I will link back the article on there. I will share with you. Yeah. So I'm not skeptical. I'm just I think whichever thing you end up investing, you need to be sure about it. You need to have you know your rights, etc. Give you a good example. Recent thing on Robinhood. Robinhood had it was in
Tech issues.
Yeah, had issues, and a lot of people lost money. And at that point in time, Robinhood was like, yeah, we're gonna give you 3-month Gold membership if you are already a Gold membership, and people lost thousands, and the Gold membership should be about 15 USD per month.
Yeah. By the way, I was trying to fix some things, and I think I cut off our initial live stream, and a
Okay.
new one was published. So if you shared it anywhere, you might need to reshare it because,
Okay.
yeah, my bad.
No problem.
Now I know that's how it works.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so bizarre. It's such a bizarre thing. Yeah, let me go back again. So this is part 2.
Let's hope it's 2 of 2 and that's it.
When I found out about that was a mind blowing, like seriously mind blowing. I didn't even I didn't even know that is.
Yeah.
Standard & Poor 500 index, simply S&P 500 market capitalization. This is Investopedia 505. So it's not even 500. So yeah, some of the largest. Okay, many. Yeah, but it's not everything.
Yeah.
But performance over a year is 0.045. Annual dividend is 2.13. Yeah, still under.
2.13%, huh?
Yeah, market liquidity, annual dividend. Yeah, is this? In fact, let's look at Vanguard.
Yeah. So I guess while you're looking into that as well, for those people who are interested in buying and selling US shares or ETFs, like what are you using personally or to do it?
If so ETF, so at the moment, I think for Malaysian, I think I should give a bit more of a local context. Yeah, there's a bunch of trading accounts that you can use. I know a lot of you might not have the best one I would generally recommend until recently will be Robinhood if you can find a US-based account.
What do you mean by if you can? Like how did you do it? Do you use it?
You need to set up. You basically need to set up a company to do that, and it gets. I think also you probably need to be accredited investor. If I'm not mistaken, that will be 500,000 USD and above.
Okay, that's probably not an option for people.
Yeah, so not just ignore that. But yeah, it's actually really good because there's no brokerage fee over it. So you are buying your behavior change. You're essentially buying it like e-commerce. So it's like, oh, it's $18 a share. Okay, I'll just buy it. It's like $200 a share. I'll just buy it.
Yeah. Actually, that's one of the things that I was really confused about when I first got to Malaysia. And they're like, oh, you gotta buy, like, because in the past, or, in the US, you can literally just buy one share, right?
Yes.
Whereas here, I think it's the official term's called a lot. And one lot, you can only buy a minimum of one lot, and one lot's like 100 shares.
Yes, I think, yeah, Malaysia should be. I think the Malaysian market, so I'm a bit.
You don't really spend much time here?
I don't. There's not much. Personally, I don't believe there's much liquidity. But people do make a lot of money over here. There's a friend of mine that's actually making a killing.
Yeah. I was actually introduced to a Robinhood competitor that Malaysians can get access to.
Yeah, Rakuten.
No.
Oh.
It's called Webull.
Yeah, Weibo is. I was about to go there, but I was going to say Rakuten actually.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk Webull then. Like, what were you gonna say about it?
If I'm not mistaken, Weibo actually give you like it's not Malaysia based, but I think they are opening in Malaysia. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So they are. I mean, they have all the accreditations in the U.S. to be able to, hold people's money and trade up, and allow people to trade through it. But they are a Chinese company.
Yes, correct.
And yeah, they do have access to, or Malaysians can actually sign up for that.
I haven't played with it, but if I'm not mistaken, if you sign up, you get randomly 2 shares, random shares.
That's only for the U.S.
Oh, that's only for the US. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was introduced to it by someone, and now I'm kind of working as an affiliate for Webull as well. So just putting it out there. But I tried so hard to find a way to open one up for myself, but they're like, you have to be a Malaysian citizen to open an account.
You are a Canadian citizen,
Yeah,
am I
I'm a
right?
Canadian citizen, Malaysian tax resident, right? And I was like, but I pay taxes in Malaysia. Like, that's usually the main, like, the only requirement. And they're like, no, you have to be a citizen.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So the thing that I would generally recommend people is Rakuten Trade
Okay, why is that?
because it's available in Malaysia and it's the least hassle. So Rakuten is in case you do not know, it's basically a Japanese company that their partner. I think they partner up with a local company to do this. It's the closest thing in closest thing that you can do in Malaysia to have Robinhood like functionalities. They are uh, basically you need to do customer verification and etc. Fairly simple. App doesn't look as nice, but yeah, they do a lot of partnership with AirAsia, Big, and etc. You can buy local shares. There are Rakuten points, there are campaigns and stuff like that. So fairly a lot of resources to look at. I think they are in Japan, Hong Kong, and Australia outside of Malaysia too. Yeah. So Rakuten Trade .my would be it. I have the
Yeah.
affiliate link, but I do not know where it is.
um, but from a cost perspective, how does Rakuten look, or how does that look like?
I think you still have a certain amount of fee. Let me load up the current fee base because like previously there was a period of time I think there was a campaign where there's no brokerage fee. So if your value is below 1,000, there's like a cash upfront. There's a so there's actually three types of account if I'm not mistaken, like the cash upfront account. So it's actually I think you put in a deposit, a contra brokerage account that you do a settlement, and then the Rakuten margin account, which I'm not exactly sure what was that actually. Um,
Margin account. Okay.
yeah. So if the valuation the value of trading is below 1,000 is $7, 7 ringgit, not dollars. If the value is below 10,000 and between 10,000 and 1,000,
Yeah.
that is 9 ringgit, and then between 10,000 to 900, sorry 99,000, yeah, it's like 0.1% of trading or all. And then above 100,000 is 100 ringgit brokerage fee. So the problem with this is there's still brokerage fee,
Yeah.
and essentially this is like when you're shopping and you are buying, like you have delivery charges. So you will start thinking like, how do I group everything to buy together? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can't do it because you only can buy like this stock and this lot or etc.
Yeah. Does Rakuten allow you to buy U.S. stocks as well?
I believe you can. I can't remember. Uh, let me look at that because I believe you can actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's got this so market indices. There's FCK. Okay, Bursa. No, I think the Malaysia one is tied up to Malaysia. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But yeah, if anyone who wants to trade that, I would recommend that as opposed to eToro.
Oh yeah. Should we talk about eToro?
I do not know how to say it.
I think the best
You
way,
know,
that I describe eToro is you're not actually buying shares,
yes.
right?
It's
So you have no protection that you normally get with shares.
exactly. Yeah. For newbies, I won't suggest eToro.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to start learning to trade actually. Hi Zenas, your colleague is the colleague from Mind Valley is
Yeah. Yeah.
hello, hello.
Nice.
The general one I would suggest is e-broking, hlebroking.com.
Okay.
Yeah, just set up an account there, but it's again, no, there's an app. Don't expect too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there is yeah, it's probably the best will probably for beginners. Least hassle in Malaysia would be Rakuten, in my opinion.
Yeah. I personally, because I can't open a Webull account, I'm using TD Ameritrade in
Oh yeah,
Singapore. Yeah. That wasn't too bad. I think I've been told in the past that um, the process of opening used to be like actual paperwork, and it was like that was very frustrating. But everything now is like online, which is nice, and you could just wire transfer directly into it. Um, and yeah, I think so yesterday I wire transferred some money in, and like in the morning, and by the time the stock market opened, the U.S. stock market opened, 9:30 p.m. here, the money was already in. So I was like, oh, that was pretty efficient.
yeah. They are fairly. I mean, when you come to trading or at least investing in stocks, because timing is crucial, so they have to be fairly efficient.
Yeah, yeah. Because so what I've done is like I got my girlfriend to actually open a Webull account and tried and send some money through that, but that is actually taking a lot longer. So it's definitely not as fast as like a TD Ameritrade right now.
I see. Yeah. I think the TD Ameritrade is probably like the old school kind of thing. So yeah, like so much spam. Yeah, but yeah, it's really interesting to look at it. And so, if anyone is actually trading or what are the platforms that you are trading, please do. The I guess we need to go with Robo Trader. So Wahid is Wahid is one.
Yep.
Have you tried? I haven't.
Yeah, I have both Wahid and Stashaway.
Yeah, I haven't started it actually. So I was supposed to try it out. But what do you think about Wahid then? What do you think about Special?
Um, I Yeah, so I think with robo-advisors, like going back to what I was talking about before, like I would say 95% of the population should be using it, simply because it's giving you access to the global market,
Mm-hmm.
and it can automate everything for you. So like you literally don't have to do anything, right?
Yeah.
You set up once in 30 minutes or an hour, and the next 30 years you can automatically be invested without having to think about it, right? Because it can take money out of your account every single month or every single quarter, however you want to do it, and automatically invest it based off what it told you it would do.
Mm-hmm.
That said, like so I have a bit of money in it. Even with the drop right now, one of the things I was talking about yesterday, like yeah, like the stock market crashed or dropped like 30% or so in the last 2 weeks, but honestly, like it's still not really at the point of where the bottom of the 2018
Yeah.
drop, right? So, like in 2018, I already thought the market was kind of overvalued.
Mm-hmm.
So personally, like I'm not looking at getting into the index as a whole, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at like what are the companies that have taken a beating when it really shouldn't have, because their business method or the revenue structure or whatever, it does not really get impacted with what's happening.
I see. Yeah. I think if you can do the research, by all means, that should be the way to evaluate and look at it.
Yeah, yeah, and I spent like so last year I did 2 mini intensives. So mini intensive to me is pretty much, spend like 8 hours a day, learning something for like, a period of like a month or 2 months, right? So I did two of them yet last year. One of it was actually learning all the fundamentals of value investing, and like essentially starting to come up with my own like shopping list of these are companies that I fully understand, and I know what their intrinsic value is. So if it ever goes on sale, then I know where to come in, right? So I had a list of these companies. I never actually took all the time to like fully understand like what's that price that I would want to come in, and with the crash or with what's happened the last 2 weeks, like that's how I was like, oh shit, like caught flat-footed, need to spend a lot more time like reading everything, learning it all, just to make sure that I can take advantage of it properly, right?
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are facing the same issue at this time. So yeah, oh well,
Yeah.
this is in the how to say in the tech world we call this a pen test. Although it's quite real, but yeah, we are testing the infrastructure of civilization and societies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't know if we want to keep going for too much longer. Doesn't seem like there are too many people tuning in. So last thing I really want to like just dig into is let's talk a bit more about like, what do you call it? Side hustles. So
Side hustle.
yeah, so we talked a bit about how we can create time for a side hustle, but for those who might not, who are just starting to, like down this journey of thinking about side hustles, where would you recommend them to start, or how should they go about thinking about this?
I would say go. Okay, so the this is not my advice, but from Chris Gillibo.
Mm-hmm. Who's
Essentially,
that?
Chris Gillibo is the founder of Side Hustle School. He's the author of the $100 Startup. He is a personal hero of mine. And essentially, side hustles are things that you do outside of your 9 to 5. So you generally have the main income.
Yeah.
And side hustle could be a replacement income or could be something else, totally different. So you want to find skill sets that you already have or things that you already have that you can resell outside of your 9 to 5. Say for example, if you are doing accounts, you're an accountant, and you might want to take on other side projects like bookkeeping that doesn't take up too much of your time, and how do you market this? And these are all very crucial side hustles. Then the second type of side hustle is side hustles that are fairly more automated, but that requires more time to set up. So, like running a YouTube channel, maybe not as automated as it seems, but there are stuff that will be generating income over a long period of time through YouTube ads. But you need to build the audience up, and you need to build things that people will want to see. So that requires more time that you not really want. So you need to balance between what is short term, what is long term. Overall, long term can be more automated if you want to set up an e-commerce store or etc. But again, if you're doing drop shipping or you're doing print on demand or you're doing a straight up e-commerce store, there's a lot of work to be there. So give you a good example. One is if you're selling something, you need to handle sourcing. If you need manufacturing, storing, from
Logistics, customer service.
Yeah, customer service. There's so many things involved. And drop shipping just eliminate the 3 parts of it. You still have marketing, customer service. You still have
Sourcing and
other things that you need to do running this business. You figure out what works for your time and etc. So my general advice is what are the stuff that you are interested in? Not passionate, but you can spend a lot of time on that you will not because passion waves, like it comes and goes, like a certain thing. So you might want to find something that you are already doing, that you are spending time, and so you just find a way to monetize it. That could be a good side hustle.
Yeah. And I guess I just want to emphasize some of the things that you mentioned there. A lot of people like to think, I'm just gonna start up something like dropshipping, and I'm gonna be done with I set it up today. I'll be spending like a month on it, and then I'm good to go, right?
way, man.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. You're definitely gonna make a lot of mistakes. You're gonna lose a lot of money to learn a lot of these things, right? Like exactly what Daniel was saying, like uh, understanding how to source, understanding how to market it, and then of course, once you actually get the customer, making sure that the product actually is what it is, and that they are willing to share that with friends and come back to your store, right? Like that's a very very tough thing to do. But I'm not saying like you shouldn't go for it. I think there's a lot of value for trying. Even though you might not succeed financially, you will definitely learn a lot of really useful skills that you can take to other parts of your life, and that might be useful going forward as well. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the two easiest way of doing a side hustle, consulting, teaching an online course. And you don't have to you, you don't really like to say you don't really like to do stuff that are like teaching an online course. You don't have to do the selling. Like you can just do an online course, upload to Skillshare, and let Skillshare do the selling for you. So those are fairly automated side hustles. Then you maintain it. What you need to do is try to maintain the community.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
There you go. So if you guys are interested in starting a side hustle and you guys have certain skills and whatnot that you are known for, definitely explore that type of way. And how about like for recent grads who they're coming out first time, they may or may not be facing this as their first obstacle. But what would you suggest for these people? Not just about side hustles, but like managing money, managing their future. Like what would you say to that?
So if you're I think one of the best advice is try to negotiate for the highest pay you can get. I know a lot of my friends in the entrepreneur community will hate me, but do not start a business. Do not start a business. Try to find something that you can learn and grow and start saving. But really, really stop. Really minimize your spending, and that's one of my regrets actually. Like if you really ask me, I should have saved a lot more. But start saving and start. Even if you do not know how to invest, just start throwing it into index fund. Like allocate portion of that index fund, ECF, not ECF, not ECF. Sorry, like stash away.
Stash away, Wahid.
Like those kind of stuff. Like invest a certain portion of that, then start learning from there. There is so much to learn, and the world will get more complicated as time goes on, and you need to be agile of learning. Like be this ninja to be so agile of learning new stuff, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are facing issues because they are stuck in one skill set, and how do I monetize my, like if I'm a chef, how do I monetize that? Like if I'm doing this, like I can't do this anymore. Like what can I do? So your job will be different in 3 years. I'll guarantee it. Like whatever you end up working will be different in 3 years. At max, it could be shorter. So try to save as much, create a buffer. Emergency fund is always a good thing because if you have emergency fund, like you're not so worried, you're not so stressed out. Like now, I'm not. I'm sorry. You should have that. I'm more stressed out about people and how can we help out.
Yeah. Shoot, there was a really good point that you mentioned there. You were saying, you should have saved more when you were younger, right?
Yeah.
What were you doing when you were younger, and what would you have rather, looking back at it now, how would you have changed that?
I wish I would know the fire strat, believe there's the fire movement earlier, so I could because I realize I'm a minimalist in nature, so I don't have a lot of stuff. I don't need a lot of stuff to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
maybe this. I need this. Okay. Honestly, I do not know what I want to do. This, I might give it away. Okay. Uh, I need some stuff, but yeah. Generally, uh, the less you are comfortable having minimal stuff, the easier for you to adapt. And because I was traveling, so I actually have eliminated a lot of my stuff. So I haven't reached my goal of living on 2 suitcases.
Hold on, when you say live in 2 suitcases, does that mean like literally you can pack up everything you're in 2 suitcases and like be out of the house?
That was a bit of a goal for me. I don't think I can do it actually. I do not know. Yeah, but I try to own stuff that are more liquid. I personally do not believe in houses
Yeah. Okay.
as an investment. For staying, sure, why not? But if rent is cheap, yeah, your money is stuck there anyway. Uh, so yeah, the uh, invest in things that are liquid that you can actually move around, and do diversify. Like at the moment, everything is getting and peaking except for gold, uh, which I wish I have run into earlier. So yeah, so gold is now
Gold, gold,
gold is
G-O-D.
gold. No, gold lost a bit, huh? Yeah, but it's been up.
Everything's lost a bit.
Yeah, I mean it's been up for a while. So looking at the 1 year data, it has jumped like 500. It's
Nice.
slow moving, but yeah, worthwhile. But uh, yeah, the life, you don't have regrets. I guarantee it. But you have to find ways to adapt. I think that's the most important thing
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And
Um,
for everyone.
yeah. So main takeaways for me for fresh guys anyway is don't don't start like just wanting things just because you think you can, you want it. Uh, because that's, people call that the lifestyle creep, right? Like as you make more, you instantly save or spend more, and you're not actually saving anything, which is a huge issue, especially in situations like this, and in the future where when you want to retire or you want to get out of a job that you really hate, then you can't, right? Because you're a slave almost to the money that you're making, and you can't get out of it,
Yeah.
right?
So that is I think a good philosophy was does someone, Tim Ferriss, mentioned
Whoa,
what happened.
I have no idea.
Okay, so there's a friend that Tim Ferriss mentioned that he actually decided to become an expert of cheap wine.
Okay.
And the reason for it that so he would not be accustomed to drinking expensive wine to have that expensive lifestyle and etc. So yeah, if you can live with like way below your means, it's so good. You got so much buffer to do stuff.
Yeah.
Like to when you start thinking, oh, I want to start a business. Yeah, you already have a bit of a buffer to do that. When you start thinking about I want that I want to invest in something, you already have the liquidity that so have that buffer.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think those are very wise words to end this conversation with. So thank you so much, Dana, for joining me today. Really appreciate a lot of your insights, and I hope that the people who are able to join got something out of it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I hope that makes sense. And do remember, whatever financial advice, do your research. Like rule number one in the personal finance group: do your own research. Like don't trust, don't trust us.
Yeah. And for those who are still watching, thank you so much for joining us. You will be able to get more of us, or more of me anyway, with different types of people that I've looked up to or look up to here in Malaysia. the rest of this, this lockdown, not lockdown period, but like restricted movement period. Timings may change depending on, different tests that we're trying to run and people's availabilities. So with that, thanks a lot, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, see you. Thanks a lot for having me. See you.